So this 10-minute timer you set, where did that come from? And what are some of the, and you talked about the family and their makeup, what are some of the other questions that you use to kind of dig into that why to continue to pick at the scab, if you will, for lack of a better way to put it?
Yeah, great, dude. So I listened to Zach and Grayson had done a training at that point in time, and they talked about, Grayson said like, hey, honestly, if everybody would just spend 10 minutes like understanding the client situation before they move on, everybody would sell a lot more insurance.
Right.
Remember that? So yeah,
Yes.
so I was like, okay, well, I just assumed he meant that literally. So that's where I just started setting a timer in the house and waiting for it to go off before I would move on. And, certainly that first time when it was 3.5 minutes in and I ran out of questions and my timer was still going, I was just kind of like sitting there pretty awkwardly trying to like, all right. So also another question that's good, I guess, would be, and I'm trying to like panic think of something to ask them. And then it just comes down to like, hey, how would you have this conversation with your parents? Because I was running all Facebook final expense, like, hey, if this was my family, what kind of stuff would I need to know? Like, okay, let's go through like retirement income, loss of income, social security, survivorship. Let's calculate, what your house or rent is. We dig through the, a little bit of I'd call it a soft budget, because I don't want to get in there and then they realize that they spend $1,100 a month on bills and their income's $1,000. And then I put myself in a situation where I can't help them because they think their income's upside down. Right. So I do like a soft budget. Hey, any other major debts or bills you guys are knocking out besides your rent payment? Like, do you have cars and other big stuff?
I was wondering how you did that.
Yep. So it's just kind of a loose, hey, outside of your guys' rent or the house, any other major debts or bills that you guys are getting squared away now? And then you can kind of go from there. Okay, got it. Is it more or less than your rent payment or your house payment or whatever the situation is? And that'll at least give me an idea of their two biggest primary bills. And then I'll get, obviously a ballpark monthly income. And then I can navigate myself through, okay, they have this much left. Probably don't need to show them more than 10% of total income anyway. And then I can start making plans that are affordable, whether it's $40 or $300, dude. I didn't care. It had to fit year round no matter what. And I guess
year round. I like that.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what I still say that in every house, like, hey, which one, do you think is going to leave enough for X person or your spouse or your daughter, or whoever it is, that can fit you guys, that you think is enough insurance for them that's still going to fit you guys year round? Do you have a preference, or what do you think is a good start, or which one do you guys want to do? There's a couple of different ways that you can word that part. But again, it's always which one are we going to do type stuff, because I know if I go through their budget like that and even just have like a ballpark, I'll build in a smaller number so I know that it fits, and I'll always include that on the first three that I show them.
Got it. Do you always show three?
I do. Yeah, I guess I just was trained as a 3-number person, so I've always kind of showed 3 different options, whether that's 3 different amounts for like funeral stuff, depending on if they want to leave something behind, or it's income replacement included, or different percentages of the home if they're older. I have 3 different things I put down every time.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. The consistency. I kind of always shied away from the budget because I didn't want to get into that itemizing thing. But that soft budget and clearing out the larger things and just assuming that the other things are intangible and not really a priority is huge. I'm definitely going to start doing that. Now, Easton, and like I said, I've followed you and I know Zach pretty well, so he kind of kept me abreast of you as you were coming on. What's your biggest month so far at FFL individually?
I think it's like 105 grand and some pennies.
All simplified issue?
Yep, all life. Yep.
Okay. Now I heard your schedule for the first time in Ohio. And it makes sense now that you can write 100 grand because of the way that you kind of pack things in on the weekend, which I think a lot of other people kind of shy away from weekends. Can you talk to us a little bit about your schedule, how you set up for your schedule on a week-to-week basis, and also how you prepare for that lead-wise?
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest schedule tip that I kind of picked up, and I don't even know if I'd say it's like a trick, but you can turn every single month into a 5-week month if you're willing to run 1 or 2 power weekends in a month. So, right, like everyone's like, oh, we got a 5-week month this month, so it's going to be a big production month. Like if you actually run a power weekend once or twice in a month, you can still get 5 weeks of production in a 4-week. And by that, I mean, you start running a power weekend where you schedule out Friday, Saturday, Sunday with 30 appointments, and you book another 22 for Tuesday and Wednesday. Because you can fit 11 appointments in your schedule if you book from 8 to 8:30. So I build in 2 gaps over the weekend because we have the TNL call on Friday and a call with Sean Saturday. So I don't run appointments during those. But I can still run like 31 appointments on a weekend, 32 probably, and then 22. So now I have 54 appointments in a week span, right? So if I have 54 appointments and you're like, hey, I'm really busy with 25 or 30, dude, I'm going to double your production literally by doing reps more than you are in a week. And now if you do that twice a month, now you have a 6-week month, 6-week month and a 4-week span of time. So you can get so much farther ahead than other people if you're willing to do the extra reps. And like you said, of course, that's going to require some extra leads. But the return is always so great on the leads. Why not double down a couple of weekends in the month, pick up that extra 10, 12, 15 grand, 8 grand, whatever your situation is. It's what's going to boost these huge production months. And then you can have, like, February was my biggest month we've ever had. It's a short month and we had conference and I still produced more because of how I adjusted my run schedule. Right. So, and it's those power weekends and being willing to do these travel trips and go to other areas where there's more leads. It's kind of a non-negotiable if you want to produce at a high level. And I just picked up like little tidbits from all of you guys that have been doing this a long time. And then I just kind of, added a few things or whatever that I got, I guess. I don't even know where I heard the power weekend thing, but I stole that from somebody and just kind of put it in place.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane. Like you literally do more in a weekend than most people do in an entire week, and swear that they're busy and they're working. It's insane. So switching gears now, I know that you're building now, but when did you start hiring?
That's funny. So I started hiring I shouldn't say like started hiring. I tried to start hiring when I was like 90 days in. So I had, those first 10 weeks, I was basically almost homeless, right? I turned the corner. I did 15 grand in a week for the first time, paid off all my credit cards and started reordering leads. And as soon as I got paid, I opened up an ad, right? I opened up one ad on Indeed. And I was just trying to figure out, I was like learning how to interview people. And it was almost like I was trying to talk them into coming here instead of posturing the company and using the resources that are here to like, yeah. Hey, listen, I literally don't care if you work here or not, but watch this video. And if you're not happy with your situation, you can fix it here. So, and I didn't know how to do that at first when I was hiring. So I started to try to do it by myself, first of all. And then second step / mistake was I tried to split a recruiter with Zach, and we both realized that that's probably not a good idea. So now we're splitting a recruiter and we're figuring out like
somebody always feels like they're shorted.
Well, yeah, who gets to get which person, and we're all hiring in the same states. So now it's, it's a train wreck. So first thing that I would do is definitely not split a recruiter. Just find an entry-level person to do, whether it's admin and recruiting stuff at first. Like, it's not like you're going to go out of the gate and buy an $8,000 a month staff, right? You just need some kind of help, whether that's screening entry-level interviews and then you do the follow-ups, just small stuff like that you can have them do, and then do a little admin work at the same time. But if you have one ad open and then a part-time entry-level staff that's helping you, you can at least get some kind of people they're screened through an initial interview, which was Rachel at the time. She's the one that I have full-time now to myself. But it was just like, hey, this is commission, right? It's life insurance sales. Oh, I don't want commission. Okay, cool. Now I don't have to talk to them because she already kicked them out of the side because they don't want a commission job. Right. So she's getting through all those people. And then I'm only talking to the people that want commission or have been in life insurance before. And so that's again, my hiring stuff, I probably didn't really start doing it until like a year ago. Maybe a year and a half. A year and a half of the 2 years, I was like actually got some like staff and opened up a bunch of ads. And I didn't start taking control of my own group and my own agency till probably like 4 or 5 months ago, where I was trying to hire out people to build a multi-million-dollar business for me and not taking any responsibility myself. Massive adjustment that I wish I could go back and do. And the biggest reason I had to change that is because Jake had no staff and he was recruiting more people a week than I was. So he's getting more licensed people because he's doing all of it himself. He just was cold calling people, running his own ads, doing his own interviews. And I was like, this guy is outgrowing me and he doesn't have any staff, which was like a huge wake up call that I had this massive gap miss in my agency where I took no responsibility for building it and was trying to like put it on staff. Right. And that's man, if I could not do that a year and a half ago, I'd be in a way different spot today.